So, I mean, it's not like it's a thing against females. It's people getting rewarded based on who they are more so than how they perform. You're talking about people who are dominating World of Outlaws and all this and stuff like that, and why wouldn't they get a ride? Well, those people don't get a ride. They don't get a shot. They don't get a chance. That's kind of what Tony Stewart was alluding to. I think that we shouldn't even be in a financial situation to where it should be choosing passion or money over passion, which I think is what a lot of these dirt track racers who love dirt track racing actually do, because they want to make money or more money racing. So they don't run the sprint car. They go ahead and go to stock car racing when the opportunity comes about. But Elledge is just like a great example of how kind of what Tony Stewart was saying. Opportunity, knowing people, rich endorsement, whatever you want to call it, not necessarily moving up the ladder or getting opportunity based on result, but getting all this stuff based on who you are, who you know. And that's a big problem as well. So, I mean, like I said, Tony Stewart pretty much alluded to that. If we want to talk about the current situation of motorsports,
okay, so
want to see it in a different way.
I got you. Tony Stewart is a good friend of mine. A matter of fact, when he first started in the sprint car racing world after NASCAR, I announced his first win in Ocala, Florida, when he won in the 360 sprint cars with USCS. So I get what you're saying, and I understand about what you're meaning of the money industry is hurting the sport. It's hurting NASCAR. It's hurting the World of Outlaws. It's hurting the All-Star Circuit of Champions, Fast Track, Ultimate, Southern All-Stars, blah, 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 blah. But you got to have money to make the industry work. You got to have sponsors to make the industry work. And if you are a voluptuous, beautiful, blonde, brunette, talented race car driver, you are going to get a better opportunity than an average person. And I mean, no disrespect to that. It's the truth.
Just tell me who you think that is, because, I mean, who is this beautiful blonde brunette that's getting all these opportunities?
Well, I'm saying, like, for instance, I believe that, Haley Diggins, she's paid her dues. I mean, I don't know how much you followed her.
She's paid her dues when her dad owns most of the shares of Monster Energy. Are you kidding me?
It doesn't matter. Wait a minute. It doesn't matter if her father owns Monster Energy. But she
got whooped up and down the off-road circuit, too. There's a ton of people.
Okay.
It's the same thing.
You're right. She did. She ran in the off-road circuit. She ran the off-road trucks. She ran in ARCA. She's moved her way up the ladder, okay?
But she didn't move it up by performance. She ain't moving up by performance. She's moving up because of who she is and who her dad is. She's not moving up on performance. She's not destroying people like Larson or Bell had to. You want to give credit to those guys? That they kind of did. She's not doing that.
You can't say that.
So
that you can't say
she's not moving up based on performance.
You can't say Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson are not talents behind the wheel. And that's another thing I want to talk to you about.
They performed to get their opportunities. At least I'm giving them credit.
Okay.
Something like this Haley Deegan is not. She gets beat at a little short track race and tries to call the other guy a cheater over the motor chip RPM rev limiter and doesn't even know what she's talking about. So, I mean, she's not moving up based on performance. She's moving up based on who she is.
Got a question. I got a comment coming in from Donovan Curie, and it says, the thing is that Carson Elledge has talent and has proved herself. Now she's actually trying to prove herself. So I agree with that. Now she's actually trying to prove herself.
If you're getting that statement based on finishes, I mean, you could run down her whole 2018 year. It's not impressive. I mean, you could run down her shootout. It's not impressive. I mean, you got people that are outrunning her all the time that are women, like Haley Bryson. You destroyed her in the shootout. I mean, what are you talking about?
I got you.
Her left and right who are female racers. We're not even talking about these straight white men who get no attention either. We're talking about women who outperform Carson Elledge all the time.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and I mean, and I can understand there. I mean, I do. I understand what you're trying to say to a certain extent. I mean, I really do. But at the end of the day, though, Chaz, that, just because her father is part of the shareholder of Monster Energy or whatnot, there's things she's done to pay her dues to be in the sport.
What? Be born?
Wait a minute. But again, what does it matter? If my dad had $10 million and he said, Wesley, I'm going to buy you everything you need to be in the radio television industry, okay? And I had somebody help me get there. Yes, okay, I will admit, when you work for something on your own, you appreciate it more. But don't you think that your family, your mom, your dad, they want you to have the best in life? So what crime is being committed? What crime is being committed?
There's no necessary crime that's being committed. There's just a lot of performance lacking of the racing that's going over there in NASCAR. That's another thing that this system of rewarding rich people cup rides, like Tony Stewart was alluding to, that's the bigger point. Is it not just the tours, the hard-working people, or the people who weren't born into a rich family, 18 years old, had to go work for 5 or 10 years to even afford to drive a dirt car that could be a Tom Brady.
Right.
But it hurts their overall race as well when they have a bunch of Tim Tebows up in there racing against one another. Then you throw in somebody with some decent talent and they dominate the series, whichever one they may run. So, it's not criminal, but it not only hurts the emphasis on the other drivers who weren't born into these opportunities. That's why I call it closer to an elitist situation, because it's basically a bunch of people just buying celebrity status. That's pretty much what it's coming down to. You want to be famous race car driver and everybody celebrates you, similar to being in a movie or something in this racing world. You just have to buy your way there. And it just destroys the actual morals of the sport, the competition of the sport. Like I said, in the one video, it's worse than a participation trophy when you have all these people beating a certain person and the loser gets awarded more with opportunities and rides. So it not only just, like I said, kills the, I don't want to say emotional stature, but the drive of maybe some of these other racers. And really, in my ultimate situation, I say let NASCAR and these people do what they want to do. Let's rise the status of local, regional, and national dirt track racing so that these drivers get some attention, because you can't afford to race on this level, and our competition is just as stiff, if not more.
Okay. Don't overheat. We got to take a time out. Thank some of our sponsors. We'll come back. We've got more with Chaz Thompson. We got a whole bunch of more topics to talk about, and all of this. Continuing on with the great motorsports debate. Chaz Thompson, Dirt Track State of Mind. Wesley Outland. We'll be right back with more Finish Line right after these words. Getting involved in the motorsports industry, late models, helmets, modifieds, doesn't matter. Need to have a wrap job done? Then let All About Wraps take care of you. All About Wraps strives to offer our clients with fast, affordable service from go-karts to the national touring level and everything in between. Wraps on race cars, design services, and promotions. There's no job that they can't do to make your vehicle be on the cutting edge of looking great. Race wraps are starting at just $500. Contact All About Wraps today, and let's see what they can do for your racing team. Call them up at 410-903-3302 or send them an email at allaboutwraps@hotmail.com. All About Wraps.
CrateInsider.com is your one source for crate racing tech and more. Whether you currently race with a crate engine or you are thinking about getting into the sport, our website has what you need. CrateInsider.com has tech videos, interviews with experts, and the best products in the industry. Dyno tested and proven, so we know they are the best products for crate engines. Visit CrateInsider.com today to get on the fast track to victory lane.
This is Kate Dillon from CrateInsider.com and host of the Racing Insiders podcast. You are listening to my awesome friend Wesley Spider Monkey Outland. Now back to Finish Line.
This is Finish Line.
Welcome back to the program. Of course, you hear the ticking and the tapping and all of that beeping going on in the background, which I kind of find very disrespectful when we're on radio timeout because everybody can hear it, but it's all good. Welcome back, Chaz Thompson, to the program of Dirt Track State of Mind. It is the great motorsports debate. All right, Chaz, let's go back to where you were at. Let's see what Dennis Bold says. Comments are flooding in. For some reason, there's something going on where if someone calls... And it aggravates me. If somebody calls, it drops down your audio volume, and it kind of ticks me off here. So I'm trying to work with our engineers to try to find a way to resolve this. But comments are coming in, positive, negative, agree, disagree. Haley is a threat to win at any race she shows up at. What about the NASCAR K&N event that she's won twice? Same as Daddy Ball. Go, Chaz, go. The bottom line is that's life. The guy down the street has a bigger house than me. Should I hate him or be jealous of him? Oh, man, come on, guys. Your comments are starting to bounce on top of one another. Should I hate him or be jealous of him, or should I just do the work it takes to get it for myself? Do the work, stand out, differentiate yourself.
Do some stuff in here.
Jeff Hamlin says, I agree with Chaz. It's no different than what's going on in the news with rich elites paying to get their kids into good colleges, which takes up a spot for someone who has the talent but not the money. Chris Nunn, you still have to perform, money or not, and Haley is winning races and getting the job done. That's the difference between a golden spoon child with no talent and a kid with actual talent. You've still got to drive the race car. And Rick Young says you have to pass tests in drag racing to move up to levels. So you, of course, so are you going to pick on Courtney or Brittany Force next, or any other hot shoe female that comes into the world because they've got Peak Antifreeze or Sunoco as their backing sponsor, and they come off the spotlight? Even a girl, a guy, doesn't matter, Chaz Thompson. But again, hey, Haley Diggin has won races. Are you there? Chaz, are you there, buddy? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
So, again, my question is, so Haley Diggin has won races. So, again, if it was somebody else that's put in money like Sunoco or somebody just commented about drag racing, you got to go through different levels to climb the ladder in drag racing. And again, I kind of see your point. I'm 50-50 on this subject of debate, okay? But with that being said, Chaz, if there's a new Brittany Force or a new Courtney Force or another drag racer, female, male, doesn't matter, new sponsors come along, a new driver, eventually you're going to have to show what kind of talent you've got, because if you don't, you're going to get sent packing. Would you agree or disagree?
I disagree. I mean, you saw that with Danica Patrick. She can run mid-pack. She got out.
Danica's a totally different.
Get out the sport.
Danica Patrick is a totally. Listen, she sucked in NASCAR. Okay, let's just call the pot kettle black. She sucked in NASCAR. She barely survived in IndyCar.
In mid-pack in NASCAR. What about Paul Menard? Why is Paul Menard still around? One race? I mean, it really has nothing to do with sex or gender. That was my point with the Amber Balkan video. It has nothing to do with sex or gender or race. It has to do with money.
But again, I think it's
that's all that matters.
I understand that, but I think it's the way that you
can buy your way to be there. You can buy your way to be there. As far as who's winning races or not, those are the one or two or four or five guys. You see about five guys win every year. That's who wins all the races is five guys. And everyone else is kind of just there, and some people are just field filler cars, that are the only cars actually making money. You hear about that in Xfinity and Cup. You know, they're 15th to 30th or 15th to whatever many cars they could start. Those are just starting park cars. So if you buy your way into it, my point